Hello. I wanted to talk about thoughts. So we have this great bumper sticker around here, sort of Berkeley. I'm live in Oakland, California. Berkeley, California is known for its activism and great bumper stickers. One of them is the best one is probably "Don't believe everything you think." um, I would say don't believe anything you think. And it's not you thinking, right? So what you are doesn't think, it doesn't need to. What you are is part of infinity, and so there's no thinking required. Um, you know, it's all intuition based. Like what you are is you're part of the whole, so you're entirely intuition based. Um, and some of those may show up as thoughts in our experience, which is fine, but it's a different kind of thought. It's not the random um, thought stream, everyday monkey mind sort of thoughts. Um, but I just want to. I was listening to Nick Arandes, who lives in Spain. Um, he was recently on ACIM with Keith, and they did an amazing podcast together. But Nick talks about, or he emphasizes, you don't have to believe any thoughts. Yeah, you don't have to believe any thoughts. Which makes sense, of course. If none of the thoughts are yours, then you don't have to believe in any of them. It's funny how that seems so simple. It's such a simple thing. None of the thoughts are yours. It's just a thought stream that runs, and we subscribe to a certain type of thoughts. We're conditioned to subscribing to a certain kind of thoughts, or maybe a thought stream within the thought river. So we seem to have the same thoughts, repetitively or consistently. So it's so simple that, like, you don't believe in any, and you don't have to believe in any thoughts. I just want to take a moment to, like, kind of underscore that, because in our day-to-day experience, the conditioning that we are our thoughts, or being tied in with our thoughts, is so conditioned. It's so, the belief in some thoughts, they're blind spots. Like, even after awakening, these conditioned blind spots, we can still be operating out of that basis, like where you don't see that that you're living out of, that you're taking some of these thoughts to be true. So just a reminder, a heads up, that no thought is true. No thought is true. We don't have to believe in any of the thoughts. Belief is interesting because belief is a form of identification. Belief is like a partial identification. A full identification would be like, I am this body, or I am this mind, or I am a person, right? So we're basically become fully identified that we're a person in the world, and we're a free agent. We're responsible for in all of our thoughts and feelings. All lies, of course, but this is how we're all conditioned. So that would be kind of like a full identification. We are a thinker in the world. I think, therefore I am. I am an individual, separate agent that thinks in the world, thinks, plans, and controls in the world. Again, all lies, but that's what we're thrown into. This is our thrownness. Not only this, so even after awakening, there's like these, you want to be open to like, you know, what am I, what belief am I living out of that I'm just not seeing or taking for granted, right? So there might be an organization you still have beliefs about, or you may still feel justified in complaining about a certain person. Maybe there's a political or religious conviction or something that's just operating in the background as a truth, and you're not seeing it right away. The next thing, the next level I want to kind of go to is like, which sometimes Nick says is, you don't have to believe any contents of consciousness. Now, this is amazing because consciousness is everything. Consciousness is everything in consciousness, right? So like, in A Course in Miracles kind of delineates this nicely, which is, infinity or God is not self-aware, right? So the creation of the Son is created. The Son of the Father is created. The Son of the Father is consciousness, right? So in the Son, we get consciousness, or self-awareness, the I am. So you don't have to believe anything, any content of consciousness, which makes sense because everything in consciousness, everything that you can think, every thought you can have, or everything you can see, or touch, or taste, or anything, any kind of experience you can have, or anything you can see or perceive, is a projection of again, in the Course in Miracles, everything, the entire universe is a projection of, and everything in it is a projection of the sleeping Son, the Son who's fallen asleep and is dreaming the dream of exile, or the dream of creation. Which is interesting. You get the same story when, I think it's Hinduism, where Krishna falls asleep and dreams the dream of the universe, for every, what is it? I always forget the time period. Four epochs, or 4 million years, or whatever it is, a really long time. So it's very similar. Anyway, there's nothing in consciousness to be believed in, which is so powerful because it's a simple thing, really. Like, you don't have to believe in anything. There's nothing you've ever needed to believe in. You only have to believe in a lie because only a lie needs to be propped up, right? The truth speaks for itself and never needs to be propped up, which is why the truth can be so slippery. It just sort of comes and goes, kind of slips through your fingers. It just is. You can't grasp it or hold on to it or own it. But it's just, the way Nick says it, it's just such a great reminder. It's also another way of saying identification is not required, which is what I say. Like, identification has never been required. It doesn't do anything except put you to sleep. Identification and falling asleep to dream is exactly the same thing. And since belief is a partial identification, you're propping something up with part of your identity, right? Part of your divine gift, your divine energy. And it's completely unnecessary. Which means that really all we have to do, all that's left is beingness, and experiencing. So as long as the sun has projected a universe, is conscious and has projected the universe, there's just experiencing. So judgment's not required. Life takes care of itself. Life lives itself. And the sun takes care of itself. And we're all the sonship. There's only one of us. There's only one mind that's fallen asleep and is dreaming. And everything we see and all the thoughts that there are, and they're all expressions of the one dreaming mind. The many manifestations of the one dreaming mind. Mother Teresa used to say, human beings were that she worked with were all the many faces of Christ, which is exactly right, of course. So, just a reminder, and also to myself, that whoa, dude, fixation, taking anything seriously, is a sign that you've got some conditioning. There's a belief. You're believing in something. Instead of just appreciating the infinite outpouring, the eternal flow of life. Of existence, of this reality as it is. It's a gift. It's an expression. It's what is.